Delhi Chief Minister and leader of Aam Aadmi Party, Arvind Kejriwal has been arrested by Enforcement Directorate in a corruption case. The irony is that a man who came into politics as part of the anti-corruption crusade, which is India against corruption, the man who has been termed as incarnation of honesty, Arvind Kejriwal, has been arrested in a corruption case. The case is Arvind Kejriwal and other Aam Aadmi and his colleagues in the Aam Aadmi government in Delhi drafted or changed the existing liquor policy of the state to suit certain private companies which was being named as the Southern Liquor Lobby. And in return, they have given rupees 100 crore to Aam Aadmi Party. This is the allegation. First the case was investigated by CBI. Now the case is being investigated, or the money laundering aspect of the case is being inquired into by the Enforcement Directorate. Now the opposition has not lost any time to cry foul in the case. They are raising four arguments. Number one is that just before the arrest, just before the Lok Sabha polls, is a deliberate and malicious act to prevent a level playing ground. If the leader of one of the opposition alliance has been arrested in a corruption case, that denies a level playing ground for the political parties. This is the argument number one. The second argument is that this is an act of political vengeance by the BJP. The third argument is the Prevention of Money Laundering Act is a draconian act. And the fourth argument is not a single rupee has been recovered, or which was alleged, or the money recovered which was alleged to have changed hands as part of the bribe. Now let's look into it in detail. This is Hari Kumar with insights. So let's look into the first two arguments combined. Is this just an act just before the coming Lok Sabha polls and an act of political vengeance? Absolutely not. Actually, the investigations into the case began almost a couple of years ago. Initially, when the BJP Delhi unit raised the allegation, the Delhi Chief Secretary first inquired into it, and he submitted a note to the Lieutenant Governor of Delhi. And in the note it was said that the decisions taken by the Aam Aadmi government were arbitrary and they were aimed to help a particular group. And when the draft policy was made, it was not properly, initially it was not discussed in the group of ministers. It was actually based on the note that the Lieutenant Governor handed over the case to CBI. Now we need to look into the aspect that a former colleague of Mr. Kejriwal, Manish Sisodia, has been arrested and he is still in judicial custody. So he was also one of the conspirators along with Arvind Kejriwal. Then another accused, Sanjay Singh, has also been arrested and is in the judicial custody. Of late, K. Kavita, the leader of BRS, a daughter of former Telangana Chief Minister, she has also been arrested and she is also in the judicial custody. And all these prove that this is not a case just filed just before the Lok Sabha polls. The case has been filed long ago and investigations have been going on. Okay, arrest of Kejriwal comes at this moment. We cannot insist that he should be arrested only on this date. That's the prerogative of investigating agencies. This is the answer to that part. Now, is this just an act of vengeance? So we cannot say that. Okay, BJP and Aam Aadmi Party are at loggerheads, no doubt about that. So that doesn't mean that BJP shouldn't investigate into the case. Now, another point raised by supporters of Arvind Kejriwal is that not a single rupee which was said to have been changed hands as part of favor or in return to the favor has not been recovered. But there is another point, there is another answer to that. The investigating agencies have traced or were able to get the details of the Hawala agents who were part of the network who were used to exchange money. The rupees 100 crore which allegedly the Aam Aadmi Party received for the favors to the Southern Liquor Lobby has been spent for Goa election of Aam Aadmi Party. It is alleged like that. So all the details of the Hawala agents or their operation have been obtained by the investigating agencies. Now there is another piece of evidence also which was submitted by the investigating agencies before the court. That is, they have got records of the calls made by these private company officials and Mr. Kejriwal and his colleagues. So phone calls include WhatsApp chats are there, then there are Facebook calls, other or the calls made using other applications have also been, the details of everything have been obtained. And another thing we need to consider is that before he was arrested, Mr. Arvind Kejriwal went to the Delhi High Court for some kind of relief, or he wanted some protection from arrest, and the Delhi High Court refused to give him that. Then he decided to go to Supreme Court and file a writ there challenging the arrest. But there again, Mr. Kejriwal's lawyer Abhishek Manu Sanghvi later decided to withdraw the writ. That was considering that Kavita, who went to the Supreme Court challenging her arrest, was asked to go to the trial court. So Mr. Kejriwal's lawyer also decided to go to the trial court. So in that aspects, if you consider that the court has not dismissed the case altogether, so that means we cannot simply deny, or these are not just acts of political vengeance. Now there is another argument or allegation raised by the Aam Aadmi Party and the opposition is about the draconian nature of the Prevention of Money Laundering Act, or PMLA, Prevention of Money Laundering Act. So here, if you look back, it was P. Chidambaram, who was the finance minister, who notified the act. The act was promulgated, passed during the previous Vajpayee government, and it was notified and made into a law and became applicable during the period of UPA government when P. Chidambaram was the finance minister. So who is to be blamed for the act? The UPA government could have amended the act and removed the draconian nature of the act. It may be true that those who are accused or those who are arrested under the act will find it difficult to get bail, because it is in their responsibility to prove that they have not committed the crime which they have been accused. And now let us check the political history of Mr. Kejriwal. Mr. Kejriwal, who came to power riding on the wave of anti-corruption movement which was started by Anna Hazare, he later took over all the benefits of that movement, and he became the sole owner of the of all the benefits that the movement created. And that was using his political guile. So many people accuse him of being a Machiavellian realist, and he is not a starry-eyed idealist as people or media would tend to believe him. He was not like that. Many people accuse him of being an opportunist who usurped the legacy of the anti-corruption movement. During the anti-corruption movement, the India Against Corruption (IAC) had demanded that there should be an anti-corruption office under the ministry, under each ministry, state and center, which should be independent of the government. But when Kejriwal came to power in Delhi, what happened is that the anti-corruption office was brought under the government, or Kejriwal tried to bring it under the government and influence it. Many people who have been associated with Kejriwal in the anti-corruption movement, for example, Yogendra Yadav or Prashant Bhushan, they were later sidelined in the party and they had to leave the party. And there have been the latest allegations against Mr. Kejriwal included Kejriwal nominating people from his own caste, or based on other conditions, he has been nominating or deciding party's candidates to the Rajya Sabha and giving other positions. So Kejriwal is simply not the idealist who you dreamt that he would change Indian politics. So he was a very practical person who usurped power, and some of his critics say it was not power corrupting Kejriwal, Kejriwal corrupting power. It was that way it happened. So considering all this, or having a look at the history of Kejriwal, he is not an incarnation of honesty. He is not the epitome of honesty. He was a very practical politician. He talked the talk, but he never walked the talk. So he has been arrested. Let us see if the courts will give him some relief. Till then, it's better to refrain from making further judgments. But we cannot simply dismiss allegations against Kejriwal. That's for now. Meet you with another topic next time. Till then, goodbye.